One time, we successfully mated a bulldog with a Shih Tzu.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, we called it a bullshit.
Okay, is this guy just making it up as he goes? Yep. Is it all BS? Yep. Here's Big Nate with some more BS, because it's BSing with Big Nate.
That was Almost Gone. The track Burn just dropped, and seemed like a good time to get Almost Gone on and talk a little bit about the track. And we kind of want to talk about them more because, you know, you can't come on the show BSing with Big Nate so often and not get a little more BS. So we're going to start things off. I'm joined by Nick, Connor, and Zach on this lovely day. Guys, hello. Welcome.
What's going on?
Thanks for having us. Oh,
So-
I stole Zach.
So Burn, very much so, both track and video kind of give you a real feel. I feel like this is the premiere. It kind of gives you an accurate representation of what the band is all about. So I want to, before we go any further, kind of get a full dig into Almost Gone, and I want to play a little game with you, and then we'll talk about Burn, if that is okay with all involved.
Hell yeah.
What the band
Okay.
is all about. Oh,
So first and foremost, I don't know if we've ever gotten a full background on how all of the pieces fell into place and you know where you guys all come from, both musically and as friends, bandmates. So I don't know who wants to represent themselves as the band's historian, but someone's got to give us a backstory.
I'd say Nick's probably the best one to articulate how that happened. Well, I don't know if all that's true, but I'll take a stab at it. Yeah, the way we formed, Connor and I have known each other since we were 14. We met in ninth grade, and we used to hang out and do all kinds of stuff we weren't supposed to do that was against because it was fun to us.
Hood rat
And,
things.
bonded over that, and then we went to different colleges. I went to Tech, he went to JMU, so we still kept in contact, but kind of splitting different lives and stuff. And then we moved to Richmond. I moved here, and then Connor's job happened to take him here too, and he had a drum kit, and I've been playing guitar since I was 13. So we just started jamming on it would be literally like a Saturday evening, get together, have a couple beers and jam, just whatever we were feeling. It'd be Lenny Kravitz or some Third Eye Blind song, or whatever we were feeling. And we just did that enough where we should see what it sounds like with some more instruments. So we found Zach online, and we had him come over, and he played with us, and we're like, yeah, that sounds really good. And so we were going to be just the three of us. And then Connor had some mutual friends who knew Rodrigo, our other guitarist. And so, three-piece band, Rodrigo wanted to come over and jam with us. And I was kind of like, my attitude was like, whatever, we'll see what this Rodrigo guy can do. And it just sounded right with Rodrigo, with his like flavor of guitar playing and his influences. It just sounded complete, as cliche as that sounds. And so that was the original lineup. Rodrigo, Zach, Connor, and Nick. And, that's been the lineup for almost 2.5 years now. So yeah, it just formed literally like that. It wasn't really that intentional. It was just kind of something that happened out of having fun.
So it's interesting you bring that up. That it is the original lineup. Not a lot of bands I've spoken to can actually say that. It seems like there's always kind of this learning period of this, those first 6 months, that first year or whatever, where everything kind of is in flux. So, would you say, at this point, you guys have been through a pandemic and everything. Would you say the bond is stronger, weaker? Please don't say weaker. That would be a terrible answer.
I would say we know each other more like musically, where I think we're just all better at our instruments respectively. So definitely not weaker. I would say stronger after the pandemic. Like all of our shows got canceled during the pandemic. Like we just really took that time to just jam, and I think that helped us in the long run, honestly. Yeah, I consider myself like super fortunate to be a part of this group. Like being in the same band with the same guys for almost 2.5 years, all the times we've played live shows, all the practices we've done, we've built a musical chemistry that, like you said, lineups don't typically last this long. And I think we're getting to the point where we're outrunning a lot of the bands around us. There's a lot of really good players in our scene, but you can kind of tell when the chemistry is there and when it's not. There's some bands with really solid chemistry that just play as a unit. But I see us, getting to that point of being one of those groups. So, it's something I'm really proud of.
No, I do think, from everything I've seen, obviously I'm not there behind closed doors hanging out in your rehearsal space, but from everything I've seen, you guys do seem to have a really strong dynamic, and the chemistry is definitely there. And I think it kind of helps the sound. You guys all seem to mesh with each other really well.
Yeah, I think we all get along. I just music, but I don't know, we're pretty tight.
Yeah, it's always kind of fun when you guys are on, because I've had those interviews where you can tell just one member's not into it, and then 3 months down the line, he's out of the band. Well, that's not really a big shocker. He never really got along, but you guys all seem to have. I think first and foremost, the most important thing with music is that it's fun and you care about it, and I think you guys, have kind of hit that nail on the head.
Yeah, I mean, you could get together, like, think of like the four best rock musicians. You could get Neil Peart and, let's say, Sammy Hagar and I don't know, Geezer Butler on bass and Jimmy Page on guitar. Get those guys together, and they're all crazy talented. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good band. You know, like the just like chemistry of just their personalities might not mesh. The chemistry of their playing obviously is critical. That might not mesh so well. So I mean, yeah, the talent of the individual players are, you know, I think important, but it's that team chemistry that just gets built over, you know, hours and hours and hours of playing together that makes bands really good.
So I want to play a little game right now because I kind of looking back through my life and in conversations I've had with Nick is that the first time is not always the best time. So I have a couple of questions here, and I've coined this game first best. So I'm going to ask you a question, and then I want each of your answers. We're going to start real easy. What was your first concert?
ZZ Top.
All right, ZZ Top.
Mine was Rise Against.
Rise Against. All right, a lot of respect for that one. And Connor?
Dude, I'm like really struggling to remember.
It's almost gone.
It was some like probably country concert, or it might have been Wiz Khalifa in like Baltimore.
All right, that's not what I would have expected. So now I have to follow up with the best portion of this. Best concert you've seen.
Ooh.
Mine was definitely me, Connor, and Nick were there, but we saw Tool when they
Yeah.
Fear Inoculum album in November of 2019. That was pretty insane. Like, that was a good experience. I feel like we all got there and like we tailgated a Tool concert, and they played for like 2.5 hours. It was pretty wild.
I 100% agree. That's what I was going to say. That was like literally the best concert I've seen. And I was just like, every part of it was just so like crazy and just like honestly kind of inspiring. It was just like amazing.
Captain Morgan and pot cookies.
Yeah, we had some influence with the alcohol intake, but man, that was a cool concert. Nick might have a different answer. I don't know.
I can't pick one. Mine's a 3-way tie between Tool, Kiss, Def Leppard.
Tool, Kiss, and Def Leppard.
All those bands like are like legacy acts. You know, they don't have to tour anymore. They all have made enough money, but they all play like they all play like they have something to prove, even though they don't have to. All of them were amazing.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, had any of you guys seen Tool previously to the Fear Inoculum tour?
Yeah, I saw them the same year, but it was like in May at the Hampton Coliseum before they released the album. So, but it wasn't like when I was younger.
Zach hyped them up for us. Like, said it was going to be amazing.
Yeah, I saw them in May, and I like had to get tickets for the November show when the album was coming out. I was like, I'm getting everyone tickets to Tool.
I saw them twice on the 10,000 Days tour, and I just remember being absolutely blown away. Like, it's definitely in my top 5. It's not my number 1, but it's definitely in my top 5. They're absolutely phenomenal show. All right, so now we're gonna go into a category that everyone should know: the first album you ever owned. It can be cassette, vinyl, CD, MP3. What was the first album?
I feel like Nick and I might tie, but I'm gonna cut him off and go first. Mine was Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park.
Oh, that's close. Mine is it might be the second album I had. My first one was Toxicity by System of a Down.
That's good too. Damn.
They were my first concert.
I don't know the name of the album, but it was like that one really popular Hoobastank album. Like that.
Oh, I like that one too. I know what you're talking about.
I don't remember the name of the record, but it had some.
I remember the cover. It had like
Crawling in the Dark on it. Like that.
Yeah. I don't remember the name of the album either. I mean, that just shows how impactful it was. It was kind of one of those just that single lasted forever. It's still playing on rock radio, but no one could probably tell you the album name. They definitely moved more single units on that one. What's your favorite album you've ever owned? The best one in your album purchasing experience?
That's a hard.
Who wants to go first? Like, this is so tough.
Oh man, I have a really hard time answering any of these. I would say mine is all a tie between Linkin Park Hybrid Theory and Linkin Park Meteora. Honestly, those are like, dude, Linkin Park and System of a Down are the reasons I wanted to play guitar ever. Like that, there is not a bad song on either of those records. So those are my choices.
I totally agree with Nick. Like that's kind of like what got me started. And like when I drummed as a kid, then I got into like a huge rap phase in high school and college. So like that doesn't really add up to this interview, but like I do like rap. I like all genres of music, but man, like Hybrid Theory was my first album. I think Linkin Park really is like what made me want to like start drumming. I just wanted to like hit shit. So I don't want to just like steal Nick's answer, but like I feel like we randomly like had the similar type thing going on with Linkin Park.
And I mean, Hybrid Theory just turned 20. And that's still to this day, like I go back and listen to it as well. Meteora was great. I kind of trailed off after that. I think it was like a something midnight, and that's kind of where they lost me. But Meteora and Hybrid Theory are two of the greatest rock albums of that kind of late 90s, early aughts.
I agree.
Zach,
what was yours?
I'm trying to think of like the actual albums that I own. So I'm just saying like anything that's like I actually own physically. I'd probably say
it could have been MP3, Wave, digital. I will allow that.
Yeah, MP3s.
Okay. Well, I'm still gonna stick with this one. It's the first record that Perfect Circle did. It's called like Murdernums. He's got like Maynard James Keenan on it, like the guitar player from Smashing Pumpkins, Queen of the Stone Age. Perfect Circle. That's a good band.
That is a great album, and I love that like Nick and Connor are basically giving the same answers to everything, but Zach's like, yeah, man. Really into Maynard over here.
Well, they grew up together, so it's like I expect them to be on the same page with that kind of stuff.
But it's actually just random.
I love
like,
Linkin Park. Don't get me wrong. I love I think Hybrid Theory is like one of my favorite albums to like throw on when I go to the gym and stuff. But yeah, just going based off the stuff that I own.
All right, so the next one. First instrument you ever played?
Trumpet.
Really?
That's kind of incredible.
If I don't count them making us play the recorder in like elementary
Yeah, that's
school,
what I was gonna say.
Okay, if we're discounting the recorder, then it was
first you voluntarily played. Well, yeah, you're right.
It was bass. I played bass in middle school orchestra.
Mine was drums, but it wasn't necessarily voluntary. Like my parents like saw me just like beating on walls and shit with my hands, like and making beats. And they were like, yo, for Christmas one year, they got me a drum kit and got me drum lessons at Memphis Drum Shop. And like, that's where I first like learned like the rudiments of drumming. And that was like when I was like, what, 11, 12 years old. So I've always been a drummer.
So and I feel like that's just a human instinct. Like I can't whistle for shit, but I definitely can like tap a beat out. Like I feel like that's just human instinct. I don't know, and like it just evolves kind of more from there. This one's going to kind of defy the first best, but I feel like it is important. So obviously we've established somehow Nick's first instrument was the trumpet, which just absolutely blows my mind. But instrument you most wish you could like be just absolutely the greatest at. That's not the one you currently play.
That we can't choose our own. All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and start on that one. It would definitely be the didgeridoo.
Oh, I play didgeridoo.
I feel like the competition's not fierce on that one.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever seen someone who's really good at playing the didgeridoo? It's pretty impressive.
My roommate in college he brought one freshman year. It's so weird, and we thought he was a weird guy, and he is. But man, he could kill that fucking didgeridoo.
But he could play a goddamn didgeridoo.
He was like wow, wow, wow. Yeah, it was actually crazy.
Mine would be drums because not because I want to be a drummer, but because like when I'm trying to describe a beat to Connor that I want him to play, I know I don't make any sense. Like I can hear it clearly in my head and I'm trying to communicate it. And I know I'm doing a horrible job of it. So, and that's a guitar player thing. That's not unique to us as a band. I've found in talking with other musicians, guitar players tend to suck at being like, I want you to play this beat, boom, tap, boom, boom, tap. But yeah, I pick drums.
For me, it would definitely be electric guitar. I just like, everything they do with like, they're like, oh, we're going to drop D. No, this is drop C sharp. Like, oh, and then like, just like knowing the, like, you know, like I have 2 guitars and like I tried for a little bit in my teens, but it's just like the amount of shit you need to know to like combine strings and frets to make notes. Like, I don't know if it's a lack of effort, but just like, damn, it's just crazy to me. So like, if I could just instantly like be good at it, it would definitely be guitar. I think that's awesome when they like shred these solos.
I love the Hunter and Nick whole thing of giving like it's phenomenal that you two are so in tune with each other about life experiences and instruments you want to know how to play to understand better. I do. This is going to be the last one, and this one might be a little more divisive or a little more varied. First beer you ever had?
Oof.
Yeah. First one, you mean like that I wasn't supposed to have, or like first, like does the first beer I had with my dad count?
First beer, first sip of beer you ever had.
Well, that was Yingling for me, but the first time I was having a beer when I wasn't supposed to was Natty Light.
Oof.
Natty Light here for that too.
My dad's been on the Miller Lite train since like he was born, I think. So mine was my first, and my current sip is Miller Lite.
All right. So what's the best beer you've had?
Ooh, Falcon Smash.
Ooh, God, yeah. I take Zach's answer
It's
too.
made
Falcon
by
Smash.
Triple Crossing Brewery. It's like one of the more popular IPAs around Richmond. It's really good.
There's actually like
All right.
Falcon Smash is in such demand that like if you go to a restaurant right now, like they have a shortage and it's like $16 for like one Falcon Smash.
Ooh.
Mine would be, I went when I was 17 because I had a exchange partner, and there's this beer I had there called Verona, and it's the best beer I've ever had.
True.
Alrighty. So now, wow. I'm trying to think. The first beer I was supposed to have, I think I was a little more spoiled. It wasn't Natty Light. It was Bell's Two Hearted.
What do you mean? Natty Light's like that's being spoiled right there. Natty Light's a good beer.
Yeah, that's like Zach's favorite beer.
It's definitely, that's a quantity over quality situation. But I'm gonna have to find a way to get my hands on some Falcon Smash, because I'm assuming it's obviously a reference to Captain Falcon and Super Smash Brothers, and willing to bet they probably have some other solid beers on their menu as well.
It's really good. If you like IPAs, which I'm like an IPA connoisseur, I love IPAs like of all types. So that one's one of my favorite IPAs for sure.
All right, so we've been talking beer, and I feel like it's only fair now to segue and talk about the track a little bit, because the single artwork was beautiful piece of artwork, but it was the Burn IPA. So if you're gonna leave that fruit dangling there, I've got to ask to you guys, what is the song about? Because to me, it kind of feels like a party. Both.
Oh yeah, it's a party song.
It's like kind of a depiction of what we do, but I'm gonna let Nick expand on that.
Yeah, it's definitely a party song. I was doing an interview earlier this week, and I write a lot of the lyrics for the band. And one of the things they asked was like to describe, like, if there was a message that Burn is trying to convey, what would you say it's the message is? And like when I wrote those lyrics, I wasn't thinking about messages. I was just thinking about what we like to do on a Friday night, hang out and play beer pong and stuff. I mean, that's accurate. That's what we do. Like, we have bonfires and stuff. Zach and I used to share a house, and we would do that all the time in the backyard. But, real message behind it, the opening line of it is, I quit my job today. And then the song goes on to describe getting together with your boys, hanging out, blowing off steam. The message behind it, if I had to pick one, would be like, just because something bad happens to you doesn't mean you can't go home, kick back, blow off some steam about it, and try again tomorrow. Like, that's really, when I had to think about it, I was like, that wasn't deliberate, but that's the message behind it.
So, I mean, with the title, the mention of bonfires, of course, there is some lovely footage involving a fire in the video, which just absolutely kills me. I mean, did that directly come from that, or was that like, oh shit, I've got this video of me jumping over a fire?
So like when we were talking about like making a music video for this, like one of the ideas we had was whenever we've known each other for 2 years, and I feel like just our generation will always like take Snapchat videos of like your friends doing dumb stuff when you're partying or hanging out. So we had this idea, and then like, all right, let's compile all these videos and pictures, and we had like a whole album just chock full of just stuff like that. And Pedro, who shot the video, we just gave him access to that folder, and he's like, pick ones that fit. But it was pretty cool. Like we've had some big fires where it's like, all right, let's jump over it.
Pretty much every time, yeah. There would be a huge fire jumping party. The rowdier we got, the bigger the fire, the higher the jump. But
It's
it was
really
fun.
like it's a hold my beer and watch this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever Nick makes a bonfire, he doesn't have anything less than 6 bottles of lighter fluid.
Well,
Literally.
you got to get it going somehow. I love it.
That's how he
It's an
invents his pyromaniac tendencies.
It's an exciting track, exciting video. Everyone needs to go ahead and check it out. What's coming next from Almost Gone?
We
We've
got
got
some shows. We got some more singles to record and release and rolling.
we've got the follow up to Burn already recorded. All we need is the artwork, and we've kind of got a good rhythm with our boy who does the artwork. So we've got the follow up recorded, and then we have 2 studio dates booked to record the follow ups to the follow ups to the follow ups to Burn. And then after all that is said and done and released, we're gonna hop on the bandwagon, and we're doing a Pop Goes Punk song. So there's a pop song out there that we're gonna turn into a punk rock song. In addition to that, shows are coming back in Virginia, and we actually have 2. We have about 6 or 7 shows for the rest of the year. But we recently got an offer to be on the bill with a band called White Trash, who they're like a early 90s band. They sound kind of like, they remind me of like Jane's Addiction. They were in regular MTV rotation with a song called Apple Pie in '91. And so they're reuniting. We got offered to be on a bill with them. So we have that show coming up, and more exciting, we got an offer earlier this week to be on a bill with a band that I'm sad to say I'm not allowed to tell you yet, Nate. The promoter won't let us talk about it until he's finished putting the bill together. But this show's gonna be a really, really big deal to us. If I could give you a hint, I'd say if you were a Warped Tour kid, you'd be excited to go see this band that we're going to get to share the stage with. So it's a really awesome opportunity.
And there's what we call a tease. That is where we will leave it. Almost Gone. Follow them on social media. Be on the lookout. And guys, thank you so much for joining me. Burn, of course, out now. And Rocket, have a cold one and enjoy your weekend.